which exists in Wisconsin and several other states that use the same software, which may have meant that for every 7 votes given to Trump, 6 of them were automatically flipped over to Biden by the software, and Trump only received 1 vote. Then we have the bags, the boxes, the suitcases, and the coolers full of ballots arriving the day after the election, in the middle of the night, 4 o'clock in the morning, that kind of thing, and put in the secure area and being included in the count because of Democrat overseers who said it didn't matter, they're going to count them into the count anyway. How do we fix that other than have a whole new election? And I'm for it. I think we're a big enough country, a strong enough country, and technologically savvy enough country to have an entire brand new election next week on Wednesday. You could just do it. Boom. Say it today, have it a week from this Wednesday. It'd be that simple. If we wanted to do it, we could do it. You have to have the resolve of the integrity of your position. You have to have the resolve of doing that. And so now we come down to the commentaries of various people and saying the president is a sore loser. Well, if he suspects, based upon good evidence, that there were election shenanigans and misdeeds and criminal activity, then he has to. Don't forget, he's not just an ordinary citizen like you and I. We can shrug and say, oh, well, it doesn't concern me. Or we can say, oh, well, I just was a small guy with a small holding in the office, and now I'll just go back to my regular job as a mechanic or something like that. It doesn't involve you and me in the sense that our livelihood is at stake or our freedom is at stake in the sense that we could do anything about it. But the president, any president, is required by his responsibility and accountability to, when he suspects injustice, when he suspects fraud, when he suspects and has ample evidence that there were some shenanigans going on, he cannot just run away or shrug his shoulders or say a plague on both your houses, or I'm out of here, I'm going to Mar-a-Lago, or I'm going to go. No, he can't do that. He's a chief executive officer charged by the Constitution with administering the nation's law and formulating the nation's policies. And so he cannot run away. He cannot hide. He must confront. He may say to himself, boy, I'm so tired. I'd rather go home. I'd rather not do this. I'd rather be in my lovely suite at the hotel. He can't do that. He has to be out there fighting and struggling for you, my friends, and for me, and my freedom and my vote. And last thing I'd like to talk about, and I'll stop there, is that how many states, 15, 20 states, had the election, pre-election, and then the election on the election day, and at the end of the day, that was the end of it. They submitted their vote totals, and that was the end of the election for them. And doesn't it seem to you unjust and unfair that other states, by all kinds of maneuvering or legal wrangling or all kinds of pleading and whatever, misuse of people, they get to extend their voting time by days, extend their counting time by weeks, and extend the reception of ballots by days and weeks. Whereas the states who abided by their state constitution or their state law just had the election on election day and received the pre and the mail-in absentee ballots and military ballots, and that was that. Whereas these 6 states that have special treatment have really, I believe, given they've been given an unfair advantage over the states that did not ask for that. They did not get that. So that in a sense, the Pennsylvania vote and the Georgia vote, North Carolina, South Carolina vote, Wisconsin vote negate or blunt or stop the validity of my vote in Kentucky or your vote in Kentucky or whatever. Your vote becomes a nothing vote. Now, I'm quick to say that I used to vote in my home state. In my home state, where I lived for 20 plus years, my vote never counted because I never was on the right side of the Democrat Party. I was always on the correct side of the Republican Party, and none of us were given a chance to get reimbursed by making a mistake and given another chance to ballot. We voted, we did our vote, and that was that. And then in the state in which I came from, the majority ruled. So every time I voted for a Republican, I knew that the majority of my state is Democrat, and all the electoral votes and all the privileges will go to the Democrat candidate and his party, because we do not split the vote in my home state. Do not split the vote between the adherents of one group or the adherents of another group.